Hello, welcome to my Web University free educational videos. Today is July 4th. Welcome to my Web University, and I hope you all have a great 4th of July, celebrating the 4th of July, the Independence Day, which we all enjoy to have one. And I hope you all are celebrating it with your loved ones and families and friends and have a great time and be happy for having a 4th of July at the United States. And then hopefully every other country also is going to have their 4th of July version, even though the 4th of July, sometimes the joke is that do you have a 4th of July in your country? And then the person says no. And then they say, what do you have after the 3rd of July? It's a very good, funny joke. But yeah, everybody have to have Independence Day. That's all important. So I'm going to just, today, I'm going to demonstrate how to use VirtualBox. And then on this video, please please make sure that you subscribe at my Web University free education videos. And then I want you to just make sure that you subscribe so you can watch all the videos. In this session, I'm going to talk about Oracle VirtualBox. So I presented this PDF file. I mean, not PDF file, actually, it is a PowerPoint right now. I'm going to make it a PDF file. So let me go to a slideshow on this one. Right here is the slideshow, and then I go to beginner, get the first step. Oracle VirtualBox. What is Oracle VirtualBox? As you know, on Windows, you used to just be running only Windows operating system. On Linux, you only run Linux operating system. On Solaris, and then on Mac, on one operating system, one hardware, you can only run one operating system, and that was there. With virtual machine kind of idea, VMware came out with virtual VMware software that you can run multiple operating systems. And VirtualBox was similar to VMware, but it was open source and it was free everywhere that you install, whether you install it on a PC, on a Windows operating system, or on Linux, Ubuntu, or a Mac. Anywhere that you install it, you could have multiple operating system configured running the same hardware. The host operating hosting the hardware and then releasing the hardware to the guest. The guest operating systems are the VirtualBox or virtual machines that you're running. VirtualBox has like some sort of hypervisor, and VMware, we call it a hypervisor, and then VirtualBox also has hypervisor software, which is kind of taking care of the resources and then the virtual machine itself in order to work with the operating system and to release all those kind of resources for it when it needs it, the memory, RAM, and then CPU, and then storage. So at this time, I'm going to just talk about a little bit about virtualbox.org. The website virtualbox.org used to be like a company that was open source, and then Sun Microsystem bought it. And when Sun was acquired by Oracle, Oracle Sun became one company called Oracle Sun, and now it's only called Oracle. All the software that Sun had, including a storage stack, VirtualBox, MySQL, Java, JDK version, everything that was there was just now Oracle owns it, including the VirtualBox. VirtualBox is still free, which is very nice to have, but you for support, if you're just getting support, you have to subscribe to Oracle website for just making sure you get the support when you need it. Everything else is available, the documentation, everything. So if I'm just on this page, basically, we will install a VirtualBox on a Windows 10 platform on this one. And then once we're done with it, I will just point back to my website, which is the YouTube channel, My Web University Free Education Videos. You're welcome to subscribe. That way I can post every update that I do. You will be the first one to watch them and see them and learn from them. And I hope you all do the same favor to other people in your community by helping them learn when you know something that you can give it to them for free, like I do here. Take care, and I just will go back to this page, which is the actual website here. So if I right click here on the VirtualBox, it is going to take me to virtualbox.org/wiki download page. And then this one, you can see that it has a number of platform: Windows host, operating system, X host, which is Mac OS X Doran version, Linux 1, Solaris, and Solaris 11. Obviously, you can do it on Ubuntu. I did it already, and others machines you can do it as well. As long as you can do it on Linux, it is on Ubuntu and Debian version, it works. So you can just download this one by clicking on this one, it will download it. But I've already downloaded on my directory, so let me just go to the directory of this this PC users, Wahid, and then downloads. So right here, the VirtualBox.exact for 6.1.34 alpha version is the one that I went there and here and select on. If you click on it, it just comes another number, which I don't want to do it at this time. But on this page, you can also click on the wiki page for download page. This one also takes you to the same page there. So, and then this one is the documentation page. So you can see wiki documentation there. And then you can learn and then read the documentation. As well as if you want to go to the Oracle website is also somewhere here. Let me just, right here is the Oracle website. So you can also get the VirtualBox from Oracle website and download Oracle Virtual Machine Box. And this is the interface. You can also, if you do on google.com and just type in VirtualBox on VirtualBox download. If you just do that one, then automatically it comes in with Azure for one. Oracle website is also the second one, virtualbox.org. This one takes you to that one, and then VirtualBox, and some of them automatically take you to Oracle website. So it doesn't matter, but it is there when you install it. It's also there. So now I'm going to close these other windows that I'm just not needing. I'm going to close these ones, close this one, and leave this one on the side here for now. So and then this, minimize it, and then right here is the VirtualBox where I downloaded. So if I double click on that one, and it's going to just start that, because it has an extension of .exact, it is going to start that one. But before I start it, let me do this, clear my screen, and I'm going to do system info and then pipe more. So I open a terminal window from command prompt, and I set up my font, everything to look a little bit bigger so you can see it. Now I have an operating system as Microsoft Windows 10, as you can see. And then this one is on a laptop. As you can see, HP laptop is the type. And it's x64 architecture. So the AMD family and the architecture is there. About 3.1 gigahertz is the speed. And then in terms of memory, I have about 15 gigabyte of memory. And then we found out the memory, the CPU is 64-bit architecture, 3.1 gigahertz in the speed, and it is a Windows 10 operating system. So this is good enough knowledge to just say, okay, now let's just go to this one and acknowledge that, yeah, verify publisher is fine with, it's an Oracle VirtualBox, and it is 6.134 release and then subversion, and it's for AMD 64-bit. So I'm going to just say, I agree with it, go ahead and install it. Now it's gonna guide me through a few steps, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to do the default one first to see if the default one is working fine. If it doesn't, I could just select it. So the location where it is installing it, it says C program files. C program files, and not program files x86, because it's a 64-bit, it's getting installed in C program files. Oracle and then VirtualBox is the directory. Everything is good. I'm just going to click on next. I don't need to change browser. And then it says, please choose the file option below. Create a start menu. So that is important that I have. Create a shortcut on the desktop. I could have a shortcut here. Create a shortcut on the quick menu, which is going to be there, and a register file association. Yeah, if the extension is there, that's associated. Warning: network interface installation of the Oracle VirtualBox 6.134 network feature will reset your network connection and temporarily disconnect you from the network. Proceed with installation now. I'm going to say yes because I have both wireless and Ethernet cable, so it should be okay with the installation. Click install, begin installation. If you want to review changes, and say go ahead, do it. And then at this time it's going to go through the installation, and I can open the program files directory here on the C drive. Notice that there's program files and program files x86. x86 is for 32-bit, and then ours is 64-bit, so it's going to install it here. And then WinApps is the directory that is getting updated right now, 7.4. But let's see if it gets installed all successfully. And I can right click here to say on the task manager, I can just look at my resources and everything while the installation is going on with the VirtualBox. Right now, these are the applications that are running. You can see my Zoom is recording it in Microsoft Edge PowerPoint that I had this one. Just to release some space, sometimes you can close the application, you don't need it. And so like right now, the PowerPoint is fine because I'm gonna go at the end of it, maybe to the last part. So right here, it says that the installation is successfully completed, finish. And then obviously if it requires for a reboot, it will tell you. If it doesn't, you just start using it. The icons are coming here now. This is nice. It just says that, okay, the VirtualBox is ready for me to do it. So right now it already spawns here in this part here. So right here, you can see that the VirtualBox is up and running. And for the task manager, let's just look at the task manager, since I'm gonna go to the more details so I could see the processor and everything. And then VirtualBox is right here, the process. And then you see that memory and everything utilization is showing fine as well. So you can see the CPU usage and memory and everything. But at this time, my concern is to say VirtualBox is in terms of the memory, how much is there. So performance, I can check it, and then CPU and memory is availability of how good it is. And you can see the CPU is getting top level there, and then memory is okay. But if I look at here, 96, 98%, some of the process come and go, and this CPU will be soon released. So at this time, I'm going to close some of the tools that I don't need. For example, I don't need this one. I can always close it. And then the command prompt, I don't need it anymore. I can check it on the command line also from those directories, or I can do the Internet Explorer. And as you can see, command line, the CPU is not extensive, so I can leave it. This one is 2.1, and then the zoom is the one that is getting 20 or 21% because it's audio, video, and images, and every directory that is there getting recorded. And the Microsoft Edge, there's showing like 16 of them. I don't have 16 different ones that are there. And so the channel is okay. This one, yeah, this one is I'm posting the other video that I just did. So let's see, we're going to stay on this one. So I close the PowerPoint, that's fine. So right here, you can see the VirtualBox is running. If I just minimize this other window and just have only these two, it's very clear that VirtualBox is installed. It is up and running, and I could just look at the details of it. Under the help, if I go to look at, say, Oracle website, it's going to take me to the Oracle website right there. And then from there, you can just upgrade and do other further installation. And you see that is there. And then and on top of that one, if you just say under the VirtualBox, if you want to just get help contents on help, and if one about the VirtualBox itself is going to take you saying that what version you have, 6.134, the release is 15.06.36, which was the one that I just did right now. And then again, on the contents, you can just look for the help and just VirtualBox, and notice that this nice interface comes in. So you have the entire VirtualBox documentation as well here. And then if you want to read about it, then just what is VirtualBox useful for, all of that one is just a click of a button. And if you say prerequisite, what is it, then just read it. Okay. So this is about the contents of the VirtualBox documentation. In addition, here, VirtualBox site contents about, we went through that one. The rest of them, you can just read it when you get time. The preferences, if you want to set up some of your setting ahead of time, you could do it. I'm just going to show you, like under the general, under the input, you have that one. If you want to do update, usually when there's the next push, you can check for update, and then it's going to check on 7.5 tomorrow, next check, and then it will just find out if there was an update, automatically will update it for you. The display right now, I'm just using the current display. The network is just connected to the Ethernet, and then extension, if I want to add any extension, and proxy, I'm not using it. So let me just introduce you to this other one, which is says new or add. Or you could do also import appliance and export appliance. You can do a lot of other things for it. So once you are building a VM and you want to export it to another machine that is also running VirtualBox, you're doing export. But then if you're just bringing a VM like Sun Solaris or something that is an OVM file, then you can import that appliance here. I will build a lot of VMs on this machine. I will do Red Hat 9. I will do maybe Windows 11 or whatever. Linux, Red Hat 8.5, Linux Ubuntu 20.04, and then some other software as we do, and then we will demo them. So under the new, you can create that one, or and just go here under the new here, you can click, or add. So a new and then import, export, some of these buttons are under the file here as well. So you can see that all the options are there. If I just click new here, I'm going to just have to have a directory to install something. And then after that one, I'll just leave that one for a next time. So like, for example, if I say Linux Ubuntu, and then I just I have to select that one and click next. And then notice that the user directory that I'm creating, the VirtualBox creates under the VirtualBox machine. So then I just say, what is the memory in terms of memory? Since I have 16 gig, I'm going to give half of it for it. And then I don't have to start it. So if I don't start it, the memory is not utilized. I can always, only when I need it to do it, half and half, Windows and Ubuntu would be running smoothly on both of them. But if I just need to shut it down and then run Solaris as well as Ubuntu as well as maybe Red Hat 9, then I have to just give a portion of like 4 gig or 2 gig, depending on the OS. And whichever one is slower, I give it a little bit more memory if they're memory hog. So at this time, I'm just going to do this and then say, go ahead, do it. And then create a VirtualBox hard disk. At this time, I'm going to just say virtual disk image. Go ahead, create a virtual disk image, dynamically allocated, yes. Because the size on this one, I'm going to give it about 100 gig. Let's say 100 gig is good enough for this, but maybe I just do a little bit more because I do more development. So 212 is perfect. I just leave it that. Or I could just come in here, say exactly 200 gig. Then you can just type it in. You don't have to use the bar. So then now it is just created this. And then notice that the memory size, the number of CPUs and all that things, that if you're having multiple CPUs, then you can do it. And then the display is 16 gig. So I can go back to the setting and say, no, I want to change this display to something else. So general, under the system, you see that memory is fine. And then the processor, I only have one processor, so I allocated one processor. There's not much more I can do. Acceleration is fine. The display here, I want to just increase the display to 128, and so it is not slowing down on the resolution when I move things faster or slower. Monitor count is, there's only one, and then that's it. Enable 3D acceleration. I like to leave that one as the default. And later on, if something is there, I can tune it differently. And then the storage, notice the storage wise, I did not click on the storage. So on the storage is basically, if I'm just having an ISO image, I go here and add the ISO image. Then I build from that ISO image the machine. And then later on, that VDI file will have the installation as if I'm having a virtual disk image. So it will be just booted and I don't unmount the ISO image. Audio and network is also NAT, network address translation. Audio is, in this case, is just the default one, direct sound. And then this is NAT, network address translation. You can also do bridge between the machine and VirtualBox, the host and the VirtualBox, but I want to just do NAT in the default one. Serial port and then USB and all the shared folders. If I want to share between this virtual machine, guest operating system and the host operating system, then I can create share folders and just pass message passing between the two directories and using the share folders. And then user interfaces. So everything looks good. So I just created that one. Now notice Linux Ubuntu is ready, but I have not downloaded the Linux Ubuntu ISO image, which would be a next session to do this one. Similarly, if I want to create another VM called Solaris 11, and then I say Oracle, I love Oracle Solaris. I am certified with it. I just have to use that one. I don't want to forget the commands that I did so many years, and then the work that I did. So name Oracle Solaris, and then here it just comes in with this. And then again, this one I also want to go 4 gig. 8 gig. 8192, that's 8 gig. And then here, create this one. For this one, since the application related in Python and all that things are not as supported as on the Ubuntu or Linux is supported in terms of those, I'm not going to just allocate too much of development and disk space. So I'm only going to give it about, let's give it about 100 is fine. 100 is good. That way, if I decide to do something with it, I can just install new version of Python if at some point they release it. Right now, it used to be under Sun Freeware, and then that one changed to OpenCSW Community Software Version .com, which Sun maintains it. But the Python version, for example, is only 3.5 or 3.6. They haven't released 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. Now Oracle Python is at 3.10. That 3.5 at some point, like 2.27, is deprecated, will be deprecated. So Oracle better just release some of these ones or tools under OpenCSW, so people could start using back on the VirtualBox. Yet maybe Oracle is shifting towards Oracle VMs, OVMs, and that is doing really good. So in that sense, maybe it is what it is. We just have to accept it. So Oracle, these two are there, and I could create more, but I'm not going to create no more. Otherwise, there's no need to. And then I'll install these two, and then Red Hat is the next one. Let's just create one more for Red Hat, and then I say Red Hat. Notice that Red Hat is just an icon comes in as soon as you type in Red Hat 64-bit. And this one is also 8 gig. I'm going to allocate 8 gig, but then I will just resize them when I want to. With virtual machine, you can always resize them. Dynamic allocated, and then I want to just do 100 gig on this one also. 1.2 terabyte. Okay, let's just put it in 100 gig. And then we just say done. And then I will just do the display on these ones as well. So the display, if I just go here and then just say setting on the display of this one, I could just move it up here and say okay. And then clicking here and the setting for the Oracle. Notice how easy it is to just make changes and then give more resource to some virtual machine. At this time, I'm not running anything, so I'm going to shut it down, and then it's done. And go back to this URL that is called my Web University Free Education Videos for YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Just watching the videos, and then you could subscribe, and then you're seeing everything. I hope you all have a great 4th of July, and then I'm going to also go celebrate now and post these videos next. Enjoy it, and then have fun. Love and peace for all. Take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, and then God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye.